So we now know for sure that we are getting a new map in June. About a month from now, I would say we're probably going to be getting a brand new map in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Today is May 15th, and I imagine this new map is probably coming around mid-June, maybe late June. And that makes me wonder if maybe tomorrow in the EW stream, we're going to find out something that might be a clue or a hint pertaining to this new map. Whether or not maybe we're going to be getting a new Great One with this map. The previous two maps did release alongside a brand new Great One, with the Black Bears coming with Revontuli Coast, and then the Great One Moose dropping with the New England Mountains map. Now, I wonder if this time around we're going to be getting some hints and clues, whether or not they are, in-game or maybe something in the Discord, if that's going to be happening this time around. We know that with New England, they kind of just dropped it on us all at once. We saw some pictures that kind of pertained to the New England map, but as far as the Great One Moose, they didn't really do the whole in-game clue thing that time, so I wonder if this time maybe Jaxie is just going to give us little bits in the streams kind of leading up to the release and the announcement of this new map and hopefully new Great One, or if maybe there's going to be some in-game clues this time. But leading up to this time, I love to speculate. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of my favorite times of the year, pertaining to the Hunter Call of the Wild. I love to speculate and try to make guesses and predictions as far as what this next map is going to be. In the previous video, I talked about the possibility of Australia with possibly the Great One fallow deer, but in this video, I want to talk about the possibility a little bit more far-fetched, maybe a little bit more out of left field, the possibility of the next map being Mongolia. Now, we know that right now we do not have an East Asia map. It's something that a lot of the community has asked for and hoped for a really long time. EW in the past has said that they will not do an India or East Asia map because it is so very illegal to hunt there, so they won't be touching that, but things do change, and that was quite a while ago, and you never know. Mongolia, a lot of animals are hunted there. Hunting is a pretty big thing in Mongolia. There are endangered species. I'm going to be talking about some of those in this video. So it just depends how far they want to go, out of the box and kind of into that realm. Do they want to do something in East Asia, something with some endangered species? There are critically endangered species, which I don't think they would do. There's really only a couple of those, though, that I'm going to talk about in this video. But other than that, I think it's perfectly plausible, and I think it would be perfectly possible that they would maybe do Mongolia. If they are going to do something in East Asia, I think Mongolia is the pick for that map in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Now, you might be saying to yourself, but KC, if they're doing a Great One, what Great One could they do in Mongolia that would come from a base map? We know that the Great Ones are going to be coming from the base maps, at least for the foreseeable future, and everybody thinks that it's going to be Hirschfelden. We've got 3 right now that come from Leighton Lakes, and we've only got 1 from Hirschfelden. So everybody right now is expecting that this next Great One is going to be something, a species that is off of Hirschfelden. So fallow deer, roe deer, wild boar, red fox, etc. So obviously none of those species would be on a Mongolia map, but if we look at what they did with Revontuli Coast, the black bear Great One that came at the same time simultaneously with the Revontuli Coast release, we know that it is possible that they are willing to drop a map and a Great One that is not necessarily on that new map. Now, I do think it's a better idea to drop that new Great One and have it be on that new map and have it so that we can actually grind for that new Great One on the new map, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the new Great One has to be on the next map. So it could be Mongolia. Let's talk a little bit about what species could be on a Mongolia map. So snow leopards, one of the species that people talk about a lot are leopards in the game, another cat species. Snow leopards are a thing in Mongolia. Domestic yak, also known as the Tartary ox, kind of similar to a musk ox, another highly requested animal for Call of the Wild that we haven't seen just yet. We're talking about wild horses, wild donkeys, Argali sheep, the largest sheep on the planet. Argali sheep are an incredible species of sheep. You might have heard of Marco Polo Argali sheep, which is a subspecies of the Argali sheep, but the Argali sheep in Mongolia are the biggest sheep on the planet. They're absolutely massive, absolutely gorgeous animals, and I think it would be an absolute treat to be able to hunt them in the Hunter Call of the Wild. They are widely hunted in Mongolia, so that could definitely be a thing. Siberian Ibex would be incredible in Call of the Wild. Just a stunning species of Ibex. Eurasian lynx could be on another map. Sable, which are a species of marten, otherwise known as ferrets. So we could have sable, a species of ferret in the game, I think would actually be really cool. Pallas's cat, which is a small wild cat, really interesting looking little cats. Those are hunted as well in Mongolia. Corsac foxes, endangered. We're talking about endangered species there, but it could be a thing, a small fox species, Corsac foxes. They are very beautiful as well. Bactrian camels, Tarbagan marmots, Mongolian wolves, Eurasian beavers. Yes, beavers could be a thing if we get a Mongolia map with the Eurasian beaver, we could finally be able to shoot some beavers and get our revenge in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Now, a couple other species that could be a thing in Mongolia, but probably wouldn't make their way into the Hunter Call of the Wild are the goby bear and the saga antelope. Very, very, very critically endangered animals. The saga antelope are a very interesting looking antelope. Pretty funny looking. They are critically endangered, so I don't think they would make their way into the game. And then the goby bear is a subspecies of the brown bear, also critically endangered. So not sure if they would go that direction, but a couple more animals that I thought would be worth talking about in this video. Now, birds, for you, waterfowl and bird hunters out there, Mongolia presents a pretty huge, pretty awesome opportunity to add some really cool birds and waterfowl to the game that we haven't seen before. And I'm going to name a bunch of them, but this is really just scratching the surface. Everything from ducks and waterfowl to exotic bird species. It's actually very interesting. There's vultures, there's sagal, falcons, eagles, cormorants, sand grouse, kestrel, bustards, button quail, Mongolian lark, bar-headed goose, bean goose, black-throated loon, demoiselle crane, plovers, black stork, black-billed capercaillie would be really cool in the game, shell ducks. So lots and lots. That's really just scratching the surface. Lots of really cool bird species. If they want to go that route, maybe do 5 or 6 species of some new birds in the game, and then give us a whole bunch of other really cool bigger game in the game that we haven't seen before. I think Mongolia could make for an awesome map in the game. We know for sure that we are getting I can't remember exactly what the wording was from Jaxie, but a handful of new species on this map. How many that is, I don't know. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 10 new species? Who knows? But Mongolia really does present a really good opportunity to get some new species in the game. I don't think it's completely entirely unreasonable to think that it could be an East Asia map. So much of the community has asked for that, as I've said, and I think Mongolia presents maybe the best opportunity as far as, a place where hunting isn't entirely severely illegal. There is a lot of hunting in Mongolia. A lot of these species are hunted in Mongolia. As far as what great one could drop with a Mongolia map, I would love to see them go a little bit further out of the box, a little bit further into left field when it comes to the great ones. I would love to see them do species of great ones that aren't even in the game yet. Like, imagine going into Virhonga Savannah and all of a sudden you see a fabled Nile crocodile, or hunting on Yukon trying to find out what this new great one is. We know there's a new great one in the game. We don't know what it is yet. They haven't told us. They want us to find it first. You go into Yukon Valley and boom, there's a 10 fabled muskox. You know what I mean? Like, put something on a map that isn't even on the map, a species that isn't even in the game, that's absolutely going to shock the first player that finds it and take the community by storm. I think that would be super cool. So maybe they drop a Mongolia map, and maybe they drop a great one that isn't even in the game on a map, without us even knowing what map that great one is on. One can dream. That's what I would like to see in this game. Do things that nobody is expecting to up the shock factor. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? A Mongolia map? Would you love to see it? Are there any other species that I forgot to mention that could be on a Mongolia map? Or if it is an Asia map, is there somewhere else that you would like to see it other than Mongolia? Let me know down in the comments. What do you want to see for the new great one? Let's get the conversation going. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like on the video. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one.